What's up, guys? This is TwoTenEast. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I'll be discussing the first two episodes of Love Featuring Marriage and Divorce, a new K-drama on Netflix. The show is being released in a weekly double episode drop format, and I'll be dropping a video every week as well to discuss and analyze the episodes. I hope you enjoy this series. It should be a lot of fun to watch and discuss this show together as it comes out, and yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, first things first, let's identify the main characters in the show. This is as much for my sake as it is for yours because it always takes me a minute to get everyone's names and relationships down when I start a new K-drama. So the show seems to center around three different storylines or relationships or marriages, and specifically it seems the main focus is on the three wives. Each of them is a different age, but they all work at the same company. It's a radio broadcasting place, I think. So yeah, here we go. Oh, and if you're new to the channel, please forgive me for this butchering of everyone's names. I am terrible with pronunciations. So the youngest is Hee Ryung, who is married to Sa Hyun. They are basically newlyweds. I'm not clear on exactly what her job was exactly, but she plays the drums, I guess. Then we have slightly older Pi Young, who's a producer, and her husband Yu Shin, or Yu Sin. I think I heard both, I swear I did. And they have a daughter named Ji Ah. Then the oldest is Si Yun, who is a writer, and her husband Hae Ryun. They have two kids named Yu Ram and Hyung Ji. Whew, okay, now that we've got that down, I'll just go over my initial thoughts of the show overall so far, and then we'll get into specific plot stuff. Okay, so first off, I really like the whole format of the show. Three women, different ages, different perspectives on life, three marriages, three storylines to follow. These stories are separated yet connected because of the friendship between these three women. The scenes where they meet up and talk about their lives and share their views and opinions on love and life are all really great. The best and most interesting part of this dynamic is the age gap between them and how that affects their views and philosophies. I like the setup of them all working at the same place, and I like the music radio broadcast station company thing as a workplace. It's interesting, and the connection to the title of the show is nice. Overall, I'm really liking the show so far. I'm interested to see what happens next. There's plenty of drama going on, plenty of questions raised that I want answers to, and I'm sufficiently invested in the characters and their stories. But okay, enough of me rambling. Let's get into discussing each episode. Just a quick disclaimer, what you are about to hear are my thoughts after watching just episode 1. So if I get something wrong here, I may correct myself once I see episode 2 if I was confused about something. So just wait to correct me in the comments until you've seen both of my takes on the episodes. Okay, so right from the jump, we've got some drama. There's that lady who just straight up pulls up on one of the coworkers. I think it's Si Yun's assistant, and she's called out for having an affair with that woman's husband. It was a bit melodramatic for my taste, but I think this was pretty intentional by the show. I have a feeling this might tie in with a theme or lesson that will evolve as the show continues. This lesson would be that there's always two sides, or at least two sides, to every story. Let me explain. So when the lady calls out the assistant at first, she's just going on a rant, and it's looking pretty bad for the assistant. Some of the studio audience chimes in as well. To me, this was, again, kind of corny, but yeah, seems like the assistant is a homewrecker, she's the bad one, let's all judge her. But then she comes back with her own rant about how that lady was actually not a good person either, slept around with 4 guys before marrying this dude, stole her best friend's man, etc., etc., etc. And we see the other side to this story, and all of a sudden it's more complex, and it's harder to determine who's in the wrong and who's in the right. And this perfectly shows how it is most of the time in real life. There's no good or bad, wrong or right. There's usually just two sides, two viewpoints to any situation, each believing that they're in the right or having their reasons for acting the way they are. Basically, my point here is that if we look at the circumstances of the three main characters and their own drama, whether it's Si Yun and her husband and their divorce that seems to be inevitable and the problems leading up to that, Pi Young and her mother, or Hee Ryung and her husband, and their whole getting pregnant thing, or him possibly cheating thing. Each of these situations is shown from one side within this first episode and then given another angle afterwards. More information or context for us to consider. Now, it's still early in the show, so we haven't seen the complete other side to some of these situations. Some we've been given more than others, but I think that that's the point the show's trying to make. We're going to see one side of a situation and then later be given more context for it to become more complicated. So yeah, I think that this first scene at the broadcast station could definitely be indicative of these things to come, or a bigger theme within the show's depiction of relationships and issues within relationships. Okay, one more thing. I think this first scene also sets up a visual motif as well, which could be related to thematic elements of the show. In this first scene and throughout the first episode, there is a clear intentional use of framing to place characters or situations into a box, containing them within a stage or a TV screen even. The reason for this might tie in with the concept of sides to a story and perspective and performance. The show has a bit of fun in that first scene as there is a literal audience there at the studio broadcast. They are there for the broadcast but end up becoming an audience to the scandalous drama piece that occurs there. The wife and the assistant end up giving an unintentional performance, and the audience even participates in this performance, giving their own opinions. This seems to be a pretty clear analogy to the relationship between the show, the story, and the characters, and us as the audience, watching it all on our own screens, framed within the boxes that are our laptop screens, phones, or TVs. And just like the audience at the studio there, we as the audience watching the show are making our own opinions, we have our own thoughts on what's going on, and our own judgments. So yeah, great setup by the show, good writing and cinematography. Alright, so let's start with Si-yoon and her husband Hee-ryun wanting to leave her. As of watching this first episode, I am totally on her side. That talk they had in the restaurant or bar or whatever, where Hee-ryun basically begs her to let him leave and says he wants a divorce because they've been together too long and being head of the family is too much for him. And yeah, I just found myself not really being able to empathize or sympathize with him that much. There's that moment when they're having this discussion and it's interrupted by their son calling and asking about some, small trivial thing about, I think, one of his shirts or something. And it's just a nice reminder that the show sticks in, which is that this situation isn't just between the two of them as a married couple. This is something that's also going to affect their kids. And that's why I just can't side with the husband whatsoever, because he's not just doing this to his wife, he's doing this to his kids. I just fuck him, dude. So then we get this additional layer to this whole drama in a flashback where he takes her to a special restaurant place and also wants to go to a motel with her, and it's revealed that they haven't had marital relations in years, and she's like, nah, I'm not feeling it. And I guess this is supposed to suggest some kind of sympathy for the husband. And we find out in the first episode, or it's suggested, that he's cheating on her even though he says he isn't. So yeah, again, nah, sorry, buddy. And I guess we're going to find out more about this whole story later, maybe get more things from his side. But yeah, for now, I'm not on his side. I'm on Si-yoon's side, and that's my stance on it for now. One other cool thing I want to point out is that when they are having that talk in the car near the motel in that flashback, there are these two really great shots that show the side mirrors on the car, and each shot shows the character who is talking as blurred and distorted, while the other one listening looks normal. And I just wanted to point out the recurrence of this theme of perspective and point of view. It shows their separation and that they aren't in sync, even though they're sitting there in the same car talking. Alright, now on to Young and her marriage. So she really doesn't get along with her mom. I think that's pretty clear. And her mom comes back, she wants to see Ji-ah, their daughter, her granddaughter. Young shuts it down, goes and confronts her mom, and she's super ice cold and harsh and just mutilates her mom verbally, just thrashes her. And I was really feeling bad for the poor lady. The actress that plays the mom just kept going, oh, like she's just being stabbed in the heart repeatedly. It was pretty hard to watch. But I'm keeping in mind at the same time the opening scene and the message the show is sending, which is, okay, I'm seeing it from one side right now. I need to wait and see it from the other side as well. And yeah, we get a good dose of that in Pi-young's rant. She just talks about how she blames her mom for her dad's death. Her mom could never forgive her father for cheating on her. And yeah, it's just a pretty bad, messy situation. I really hope that they're able to resolve that as the show moves forward, but it looks like it's going to take a while for that to happen. It also seems like there may be a little bit of poetic irony coming, because is Pi-young's husband cheating on her? Anyways, finally we have Hee-ryung and her husband Sa-hyun. They are the youngest couple, pretty much newlyweds, and the drama going on, or storyline for them, seems to be the anticipation of them having a child. It seems like Sa-hyun's parents are pretty psyched for a grandchild. They have like dreams about it or something. I was a little sketch on what exactly that was all about, but it seems like having a conception dream is a superstition that is taken very serious in this case. The dad really wants a boy because girls don't matter. They get married and become strangers. And then there's the fact that Sa-hyun is lying about the dream he had to Hee-ryung, because he says one thing to her and then calls someone else on the phone and says it's definitely a conception dream. Who is the other person? Is this guy cheating as well? Is every husband of these three couples cheating? I could have gotten this wrong as well, so please correct me if necessary, but that's what I think is going on pretty much. We don't know who that other person is that Sa-hyun called, but it seems a little romantic. I mean, he said he was gonna take them out for dinner or something. Alright, that's it for episode 1. Okay, so we start off this episode with another dose of Pi-young and her just like thrashing her mom verbally. I mean, I do get where she's coming from, and the actress gave a really great performance in this monologue where she just kind of goes off on her mom again. The stigma of being from a broken home, being raised by a single parent, not having a father around, and the judgment that comes with that. I get it. That's really tough. And we're getting more hints here. I mean, these perspectives, right? It's Pi-young saying, you did this all to your kids just because of what your husband did to you, and he cheated. That's not a good enough reason. It's selfish. And the mom's like, dude, you're not going to understand until this happens to you in your marriage. And it's like almost a foreshadowing, like, uh-oh, is this gonna happen? Because it seems now more so in the second episode that her husband might be cheating on her. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen there, but I am interested to see if that's the case. What will she do when she's faced with the same decision, the same circumstance that her mom was faced with all those years back? What will she do? Again, both of these two have points. I can understand both of their positions. If her mom didn't want to be with someone, that's fine. I mean, if she doesn't want to be with someone she felt betrayed, that's her right to not want to be with them. But I can also see Pi-young's point that, okay, you can get separated from somebody and not be around them, but you could still have let your kids see them and have a father figure in their lives. So yeah, it's tough. Still not clear exactly what happened to him. Did he get run over by a car or something in front of her? Because it seems like that is what happened. I'm not quite sure. Again, great acting by the actress who plays Pi-young. Really great performance. Even though I know Pi-young has her trauma and she has a point and I understand her side, it's like, oh my god. Like, she just leaves to go and then comes back and gives her mom 3 or 4 more minutes of monologue of just her trashing her whole life. It was a little bit of overkill for me. I'm sorry. It's not like I'm taking the mom's side completely, but it's also just sad, the irony that she is so traumatized by this past of not having a dad her whole life, and now that her dad's dead, all she has of her 2 parents left is her mom, and she's completely pushing her mom away. Having a dad is important, but having that mother in your life is also very important. So it's sad there that, that's caused her to lose almost both parents because of that same thing. So then we get more of Si-yoon and her situation with the impending divorce. And he's giving her more of an explanation. And he's like, no, the real reason is I don't like smelling your patches anymore. All of this stuff he's saying, this whole like pity party he's having, like trying to make it seem like he's doing something noble by leaving because he just didn't give her a good life. It's so stupid. I'm sorry. Like, if you felt that bad, make it up to her through love and dedication. That's all she probably ever wanted. And like, are we supposed to sympathize with him at all yet? Because I'm still not there. I can't even empathize with him really either. Okay, then we get the scene where Yu Shin or Yu Sin or whatever, he was gonna meet with P Young, maybe was that her on the phone? But then he had plans, but then they got canceled because that person was sick. And then he pretends like he was going to meet P Young at the supermarket all along. Is he cheating? Is that the person he's cheating on? Who was that? Okay, next up, a restaurant public place does not seem like a great spot to tell your kids you're getting a divorce. How are they supposed? And she tells them at the beginning of the meal, like, how are they supposed to enjoy the meal after that? But oh well. But yeah, I really feel sorry for these kids. They seem like great kids. I really especially like Yu Ram, the boy. Or is it Yu Ram? I'm really sorry. And this is the thing. This is what's stopping me from being able to empathize with the father at all. Is the phrase he gives, which is living a different life. And it's sad how Si-yun has to like regurgitate that line to the kids. The problem with that is that when he says a different life, he wants a different life and he's tired of living this one. That's not just a rejection of your wife. It's also a rejection of your kids. They are part of that life. So to them, it sounds like you're tired of them and want to be away from them. Okay, next, I just need to comment that holy shit, the fact that Hye Ryung has the ringtone for her mother-in-law as a dog barking is fucking brilliant. I love that. Also, holy shit, Ji-ah, which is P Young's daughter, and Yu Ram are in the same class and they're friends. The scene on the bus where he's kind of asking like, if I'm poor and whatever, will you still be my friend? And she's like, yo, I got your back, friends for life. That was awesome. That's so wholesome. I really enjoyed that scene. Okay, and then we get another dose of P Young just like, oh God, just laying into her mom again. I'm really trying not to side too much with the mom here because I understand P Young and I know I've said that like 9 times. But just, oh my God, in this episode, just like in the last ones, like, can she catch a break? It's really ironic that for somebody who doesn't want anything to do with their mom, she sure has a lot to say to her whenever she gets the chance. And it seems like the mom is sick and maybe dying, and oh shit, it's just not good. Next, who the fuck is that girl playing the piano? Please forgive me if we've seen her before and I'm just an idiot, but is she one of the girls that one of the husbands is cheating with? I didn't know for sure who that was, but it's some girl, and I just don't know who it is, but okay. Then I'm also equally confused about this, like, celebrity that gets spotted. Her name is Ga Bin. She was introduced, and she meets those other 2 ladies. I have no idea who they are and how that all connects, but I guess we'll find out more in next episode. And then, yeah. Sa-hyun. Dude, you slipped up, bro. Hye Ryung checks his phone while they're in the bedroom at one point and sees that his phone is all clear. And I'm like, oh, great. Okay, cool. But we know he's talking to someone. So I was thinking, okay, how is this going to turn out? And yeah, near the end of the episode, she sees him in his car. He doesn't know she's there. And she finds out he's got a separate phone for talking to who knows. Yeah, she confronts him. Can't wait to see what happens there. And then lastly, I'm really confused. Please, guys, help me out. Who is Dong Bi? It's the dog, but then it's also somebody else. I think the parents, Yu Shin, one of them knows one of the other parents, or I don't know who Dong Bi is or how. I think there's parents who used to go out with one of the other wives of the. I don't know. Somebody help me. I'm really confused. Thanks in advance. And yeah, that's going to do it for my breakdown of episode 2. It's basically just me reading my notes out loud and improvising. I'm trying to get these out faster, so I'm not going to make them as polished. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please keep in mind, I'm watching this show with you, and we're all going to have different opinions, but that's what the comment section is for. So please sound off down there. Let me know what you think. I hope you'll come back next week to discuss episodes 3 and 4 with me. This is going to be a lot of fun, I can tell. So I hope you come along for the ride. And yeah, thanks for stopping in on the channel. And I'm TwoTenEast. And yeah, see you next time.